3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Well, hello and welcome to a What Saturday pop-in Dennis and Andy show before we hit the road to go down to South Carolina for the Greenville Comic-Con Junior.
SC Comic-Con Light.
Junior, yes.
Light.
Which is tomorrow. We're going down today with Bud Root, crashing in a hotel, do the con tomorrow. We thought we'd pop on and talk about Venom. We saw it yesterday. Let there be carnage. And
He sounded just like that.
he did. And the latest couple episodes of What If. So we'll start with Venom. First thing, if you're like, I don't know if I have time to go see a movie, it's an hour and 37 minutes. So yes, you will have time to go see this movie.
You can fit that in any schedule.
Yeah, if you want to blow past the 20 minutes of previews that pads it out to a full, what's up, Hyper Kaiju?
Wow, Hyper's even around on Saturday.
If you want to pad it out for the whole 20 minutes of previews for a 2-hour experience, go ahead. If
Just
you don't
make sure
care,
you get your new Nuvi app ready and signed in so you can play the game ahead of time.
yeah, nobody does that, Dennis. Nuvi is for the
I do.
Nuvi's for the hello.
No. There are a bunch of kids in there playing it.
Oh, kids.
Uh-huh.
Kids are fine.
And that's why I was on there.
Kids are okay. Oh, you're a pedophile?
No, a Nuvi, man. It was James Bond, and you had to zip around and save James Bond
right.
in his Aston Martin.
So Venom. I think we all know the plot. It picks up pretty much a year after the first movie ended is what they're doing time-wise. And good old Cletus Cassidy, played by Woody Harrelson, will only talk to Eddie Brock. Of course, he knows nothing that Eddie Brock is Venom or any of that stuff. He just has a hard one to want to talk to Eddie Brock and only Eddie Brock. Did they explain why?
They did. They actually explained it at the very end when all the murder, death, kill was going to happen. And in the end, you think it's because he's got this, that you think it's because he locked him up,
Right.
that you sentenced him to death and it's all your fault. But in the end, we just wanted to be friends.
Oh, that's right. They just wanted to be friends. Cletus just wanted to be a friend.
Now, for those of you who've read the Carnage storylines, Lethal Protector, and the intro to Venom, and then the Carnage introductions, Woody Harrelson plays a very good psycho.
He did.
And he always, and I kind of knew when they picked him he would be good for the role. And he absolutely was. He did not disappoint whatsoever. We're not going to give a lot away of spoilers because this is brand new. This is going to be mainly spoiler free. But, he played the part exactly as we had hoped he would.
I mean, I thought all the performances were good. They definitely, this movie probably has a good another 40 minutes, I would think, to an hour of stuff they cut out. So
we were asking what is left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot.
I can't wait. I won't buy the DVD, but I'm very curious to see deleted scenes, to see what they felt like. You know what? Most people want to pay this money for 2 hours, but we're going to give them an hour and 37 because we're trimming all the fat. All the fat was trimmed. I can honestly say I don't think there was a moment in this movie where I thought, well, that didn't need to be there. That just slowed everything down.
Nope.
But I would like to have seen a little more. I mean, if it's a 3-hour movie and I'm like, oh my God, guys, cut some of this garbage out, that's cool. But if you're only an hour and 37, you're trying to tell me there was like 15 to 20 minutes you couldn't keep in to make it 2 hours? Come on.
It definitely was not a Justice League Snyder cut.
Oh no, not at all.
No, but it was to the point, and
No, it
like
got
I
to the
said,
point.
if there was a gripe that I had in this movie, it was they could have expounded on certain parts of the story point, and they glossed over it and went over
Right.
it.
Well, with Scream, right? That was your name, Scream.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson's love interest. You find out, you get their backstory of how they first met and everything.
And it was solid. I mean, you understood the basics
Yeah.
and you got what you needed, but they could have delved into it a little bit more and got it, which would have been interesting if they had done it right. But they chose not to, and it worked for what it was. And I'll say, Tom Hardy, if you guys enjoyed the first Venom, and this was the caveat, because people either really liked him as Venom in the first one or they didn't. If you liked him in the first one, you will like him in there. It's a little more humor. Their inner relationship with the symbiote and Eddie himself were great.
Well, you know what it is? It's a buddy movie.
It is.
When it comes down to it, it's like a buddy cop movie, except the cop is Venom, who is inner monologue. Or even there were a few times when Venom, you heard Tom Hardy talking to, only Venom could hear it, but, you heard the Tom Hardy inner monologue stuff. This is a spoiler. I don't think it's a huge one. Scream, because I don't know her exact story in the comics, but they're playing her that she's a mutant, basically, and you'll see all that in the beginning of the movie. I'll just leave it at that. She doesn't have anything to do with the symbiote taking over her, which I thought in the comics she did.
Yeah, like I said, they changed a few things, but you know what? It was go into it with an open mind. If you're looking for a fun popcorn movie that's got good action to it, the story wasn't bad. The CG of the symbiotes and even on the eyes, and you can see how it just wiggles around the eyes. It's exactly what you wanted to see from Venom. Carnage looked absolutely fantastic. I had no complaints with either of the two symbiotes and what they did and how they did it. It was a good overall flick that, it delivered on all the basics that you wanted. Just could have had a little bit more.
Yeah, and Tom Hardy's character, you do feel sorry for him at certain points. Like I said, all the acting was fine for what it was. Michelle Williams was fine as Tom Hardy's ex.
And when Venom and her kind of get together for a little bit, that's great. The store owner that you've seen from the TV, from
Asian
the commercial,
woman.
That's actually very funny. And, like I said, they injected good humor in it, but it wasn't over the top. Most of what they did landed pretty well. Same thing with the dialogue. The dialogue was solid. Again, it was a good popcorn flick. Just don't go into it thinking this is, any type of really deep movie. But it was fun.
There's no after credit scene. There's a during credit scene. You've got to stay for that. It's awesome. We'll just leave it at that. It definitely leads into something else. So we'll leave it at that. But that to me was just like worth it. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So definitely stay for the during credit scene. Like Dennis said, the CG on Venom when he was Venom walking around and stuff, I thought looked good. They do a great job with him. He's huge. He's just totally jacked like the first one. So yeah, I mean, what do you get? What are you giving it for a grade?
So overall, I'm giving it a 7.0. I thought it was solid. I enjoyed it. There was very little to hate. There wasn't a lot of wokeness and stuff in this.
No.
It was a straightforward movie. Like I said, I would have gave it a little bit higher if they had filled in just some of the backstories, a little bit more on Cletus and a little bit more on Scream, and then their interrelation. They did do some. They could have done more. But with that being said, for an hour and 37 minutes, they hit the basics. It was fun.
It really was. Now that I think about it, it really does remind me of a nice 70s or 80s old school Marvel comic where it's just they set up the conflict and then boom, fight.
And the fight scenes were fantastic.
It reminded me of that nice 22-page hero fights the villain. with just some, nice, subtle plot backstory stuff with the characters. Yeah, I give it a 7.0 as well. I'm right on that with you. If you like the first one, you're definitely going to like this one. Is it a sequel that's better than the first? Because that is a question people always ask. Because
that's a good question.
Yeah, because usually the sequel is a letdown, but you go all the way back to the first Superman. Superman 2 was better than Superman.
Yes. I'm going to say it was at least.
I'm going to say equal.
Yeah, I'm going to say it was at least as good. Although the fight scenes were better. Again, the action was definitely better. But I think the first one gave us more of the story. So this one went up action-wise, CG-wise, visually. This was beautiful. We saw it in 3D as well. And I was going to say that bar raised, but I think some of the story came down. So if we take that and average the two out, I would say they're probably pretty close to equal in my mind. But both good. I enjoyed both.
Yeah.
I liked it better than Black Widow.
So, yeah, I liked it better than Black Widow as well. Speaking of, Scarlett Johansson and Disney came to a settlement.
Oh, I did not see that.
Oh, you did? Yeah,
No.
They came to a settlement. Of course, they're not releasing the numbers or anything, but they did. They came to an agreement, and from what I heard, she's willing to work with Disney again. So
nice.
They paid out, I guess,
to
make her happy.
They were wrong.
Yep. So there you go with that. We both watched What If as well. So we've got the 2 episodes. We got the Thor episode to talk about, and then this week's episode with Ultron, the Vision and Ultron. We'll start with the Thor episode. Very disappointing. Why are they turning Thor into such a joke? And I get it. It's What If. So I always take the What If stuff with a grain of salt, because you literally could have titled this episode, What If Thor Was a Surfer Party Guy? What's up, Chad?
Oh, Chad's in the house.
What is up, brother man?
Oh, he must be on his way to work or getting ready to.
So, exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because this isn't technically in canon or anything, so they can do whatever they want. So, like I said, they could have titled this episode, What If Thor Was a California Surfer Party Guy?
Yeah.
Because that's what he was. He was a dumb jock, basically.
What did Hyperkaiju say?
Hyperkaiju says Thor has to be a fat goof or a woman or something now. Can't be a badass. Yeah, right. But once again, it's so tough because this is a what if. So I have to take everything with a grain of salt.
I understand that, but every single time that they're doing something. So in this one, I was not a fan of this. This was by far my least favorite out of any of them. Thor was a party, stupid, moronic, dumb jock that's just coming to party, brings Loki, who's, because it was What If Thor was an only child and Loki wasn't brought up together. He comes there and just to party with him. They basically destroy the earth. And it was Jane. Oh, you're so smart. You're a doctor. You're the smartest woman I know.
Jane's like the smartest person on the planet, apparently.
And then Agent Hill is now the acting director of S.H.I.E.L.D. because, Fury got taken out because Thor was so dumb. And then you've got Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. They have
here to save the day and put Thor in his place.
They've got to call it Captain Marvel. But this was the fun scene in it. So her and Thor are fighting, and the fight scenes were nice. The animation in this stuff is top notch, fantastic.
That goes without saying through all of this.
But it is funny because, and I'm sure everybody saw it, but if you read into it, Thor ends up getting her pinned on the ground, and he lays his hammer on her chest, and she can't get up, which means she's not worthy.
Right.
Captain Marvel is not worthy. She might be super powerful, but she ain't worthy.
And he puts that on and says, you need a timeout.
That's right.
I love that.
That was fun.
That's like talking down to a child. I kind of just enjoyed that. And then they do a cut scene and Maria Hill's sitting there talking. You're supposed to be the nuclear warhead. You're supposed to be able the strongest one there is. Yeah. And she goes, I am, and I'm so strong that I could basically break this planet in half, but I can't do that because the people I'm like, ah.
Right.
So that's Hulk there. I mean, it was like, This, all it did was, for whatever reason, they had to throw just a whole bunch of crap, and it is a what if, but it was such a crappy what if. Thor's dumb. All the men were idiots.
Well, not only that, I mean, Thor's pretty dumb. He's a partier, but everybody from Valhalla, everybody,
yes,
because they had Drax, they had everybody, the Star Lords. I mean, you recognize so many characters from the MCU, not from this, not from Earth, that travel in Thor's circle, and they're all just partiers and stuff. They just made them all a joke. It definitely wasn't one of my favorite episodes either. Until the end, they teased the really nice ending, which I told Dennis, I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but every one of these stories has almost been a one-off. But the way they did the ending of this one, I said, I bet this leads in the next week. And it does. And it did.
It did.
With Vision, Tony Stark basically passed me some of that Asgardian ale. That's the only thing it's good for.
I got mine from Five Guys.
Dennis loves Five Guys so much. Whenever I see him, he's like, Andy, Five Guys is so good. There's nothing I like more than having hot, fresh Five Guys in my mouth. And I'm like, I like Shake Shack. So that's all. Anyhow, so do we want to give our grade for that Thor episode?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we need to give our CGC grade on the Thor episode.
I'll give it a 6.
I'm giving it a 4.
Ooh.
I really hated the episode. I mean, I really hated the episode. It looks beautiful, and that's the only thing I can hang my hat on. I just hated how they portrayed it, and I get it's a different universe. If this was my comment, if this is where we're heading on this, I'm going to just be done with what ifs, because it was. I hate all my favorites being destroyed like this. But with that being said, we roll into this week's.
This week is basically what if the Ultron initiative Tony set up actually works. Ultron brings Vision to life,
and Ultron
with the
wins.
Mind Stone, and Ultron wins. And then this was great, and this is a spoiler, but God damn it, it was one of my favorite scenes in the whole thing, and it led me to think, well, why the hell didn't Vision do that in the first place in Infinity War?
I already know what it is.
Thanos comes to Earth, right?
And it's awesome. He's just like him.
Thanos comes to Earth. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet. The only stone he needs is the Mind Gem, which Vision has. And basically, he looks at Vision. I think he even said something. And Vision is just like, he sees those 5 stone, or 4. Yeah. No, 5.
5.
It's 5 and 6.
And
yeah.
6.
So he sees the 5 that Thanos already has on his glove. And he's like, oh, I like those. And he uses his Mind Gem and just splits Thanos in half from crotch to top of head.
He does.
And then Thanos just goes like that. And I'm like, oh my God, you were smart enough to think of this for this. But when Thanos came to Earth, why in the heck didn't Vision is so smart and stuff.
Right.
When Thanos came to Earth in Infinity War, why didn't Vision just be like, I got this, guys?
It was great because Thanos walks in. It looks just like the movie. Again, the animation is top notch. He's got the gauntlet and he's sitting there with it. And you're just like, oh, damn, he's only missing the one. And it was whoop, split him. And I was like, oh, wow. And then he's like, huh, that's interesting. And of course, it sounds very much like Ultron.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, whoop, he gives up the stones and he goes, oh, wow, there is so much more. He goes, well, I can now just take over the world and make it the way it should be made in my image.
Or he takes over everything. He
he didn't stop at the world. He realizes, oh, there's a whole universe.
He went to
out
Asgard.
There.
He went to all the planets that we've seen where Star-Lord's from. Like I said, Asgard, different planets.
Where Nova is, where they had everything.
Yeah, Nova. And then the Watcher's like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? And when the Watcher's watching everything from, his domain, let's say, Ultron basically makes eye contact with him, and the Watcher's like, whoa, 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 nobody's supposed to be able to see me. What the hell's going on? And Ultron, with all the Infinity Stones, is able to meet up with the Watcher, and they have a slugfest. So they're basically making sense of all these different realities that the Watcher is involved with. from all the What If episodes. And I already saw this, but it looks like it's going to culminate because next week's the last episode.
Yep. And
so
spoiler, it's a 2-parter.
It is a 2-parter. So wait, next week and the week after? Or is it going to be back to
the
back?
one we just saw and next week, as far as I know.
Oh, right.
It.
So next week, supposedly, and I saw this online, so if I see it online, I don't consider it a spoiler because anybody can see it. It's going to culminate with a lot of the characters we've seen before, like Captain Carter and characters from previous episodes coming together to create like this new Avengers team to try and take down Ultron with the Infinity Stones is what I gathered.
And the cool part was when Ultron first gets him, he's completed everything. He goes, wow, I'm bored. And he goes, the machine. It was cool. It was the dialogue. The machine wondered, is there any more? Because the machine had conquered everything and the machine was sad. And basically he's like, but wait. And then you hear Ultron thinking, there's a presence. I said something. And that's when he senses the Watcher. And it was like, oh, goosebumps. And then Uatu was like, whoa, you're not supposed to be able to do that.
Right.
And they have one of the coolest fight scenes. So now he realizes there's an entire multiverse.
Right.
And I don't just have to conquer this universe. I have to conquer the multiverse. And they get into this big physical fight scene and they smash and punch each other. And they're literally breaking through from one universe into another, from one Earth into another. It is just great. This was an absolutely fantastic episode. And the Watcher realizes, I've got nowhere else to run. I'm done. I'm screwed. And he goes, unless... And then, whoop, and then this is the one thing that I really enjoyed. They actually delve into the Doctor Strange episode, which I wasn't a huge fan of that episode.
But they pulled it around nicely.
They did. They came back around and they came back at it. And he sees Doctor Strange in that little tiny mirrored universe that he had to create.
And you know what it is too? It's a moment. It's an I told you so moment. Like Doctor Strange pretty much
makes him
in so many words.
Apologize.
He pretty much tells the Watcher, I told you so.
But I want to hear you say it.
Yeah. So it was good. And it definitely leads into the season finale next week. I really enjoyed the crap out of this one. I'll CGC it at an 8.5.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 9.0.
Wow.
I really thought this was great. A far complete switch from the crappy Thor one. This was solid in every way. It was so good that I just wanted to go. If we weren't heading out for a convention, I probably would have grabbed a bunch of my old What Ifs comics and just sat down and read them. Yeah. That's how much I enjoyed this one.
It was really good. New comment here. Talk about Batman. In what regards? That's open-ended. What would you like us to talk about Batman? That's really open-ended. So anyhow, until you tell us what you would like us to blather on about Batman
89.
We are headed down. We're waiting for Bud Root to show up at the old Smith homestead.
Yeah.
And then we're going to load up the SUV and road trip it down to Greenville, South Carolina for South Carolina Comic-Con Junior, because it's a one-day show tomorrow in Greenville. So if you're around, come see us.
It's only a one-day show, but you know what? Rob always puts on a fantastic show. So, I think it's going to be great. So hopefully, if you guys are within driving distance, it's probably worthwhile doing.
Oh, my favorite What If. There, you definitely should. My favorite one was drawn by Gil Kane, inked by Klaus Janson. It's I'm trying to remember the exact title of the What If. It's damn it. I don't remember the exact title, but it has to deal with the Avengers, the first Avengers team. And yes, in the meantime, back First Man 2 Learning Curve. Eva Veer, please back First Man if you haven't yet. If you love comics, you will love my project First Man 2 Learning Curve. It is the ball of the dance, or the bell of the dance. And what's that? You want to see the trailer? Okay.
Luke Henry, after kicking Monarch's ass to the depths of space, is back on Earth, and now he's looking to save the world from the Fourth World Foundation. Sure, he had help from Penumbra before, but she's not helping him this time. He's got to face it on his own. Look at these 4 people. He's coming for a villain known as Adonis. He'll do it. You'll be there. Back it now. First Man 2, Learning Curve.
Wow, that! Now, if I saw a trailer that awesome before every movie we attended, my God, I'd be going to the movies so much more than we already do.
So speaking of which, we did get there early enough to see all of the movies.
Trailers.
The trailers. Now, they've managed to push them back again. So we started seeing...
Yes, which one was the one?
The Kingsman.
Well, no, that's Christmas.
Yeah, but that was still... That's out. We've now seen that trailer like a billion times.
Right, but for the longest time, it's been Christmas. But the one that got put... Oh, Dennis is so sick of this trailer, it just makes me laugh. I've never seen any of the Jackass movies. I know who Johnny Knoxville is. I know all about the Jackass stuff, but I've never seen one of the movies before. So they're doing a new movie. I guess it's been 15, 20 years since the last Jackass movie. So they're doing a new movie, bringing everybody back. It looks funny, I admit. My daughter's like, oh, I want to see that. I want to see that. And I'm like, that's fine. I'll take her to it because I do like stupid shit like that. It was supposed to come out this month. It is now saying next year, which I'm like, why would you push that back?
We've seen this trailer like 20 times now. And when it first came out, I was like, yeah, I'll see it. It looks dumb, but it usually is, but it's fine. I would still see it. I'm so bored with it because I've seen it so many times and they pushed it back again. I'm like, only if I got nothing better to do.
He doesn't pay for movies just like I don't. He'll still see it. He has nothing better to do that weekend, guaranteed. He'll still see it. Hashtag Dennis will see Jackass.
Wow.
Hashtag.
I don't think so.
Oh, now he's going to not see it just
I know.
because
Now
of peer
I'm going to
pressure.
do it out of spite just to prove you wrong.
Just out of spite.
No.
What was the other one we saw? Well, Halloween, but that's coming out in a couple weeks when you're back.
Yeah,
so.
as soon as we get back, we're seeing that one. That one looks great.
Oh, one I'm sick of seeing a trailer for comes out next week is the new James Bond.
Yes.
I got to be honest. I'm on this isn't hyperbole at all. I'm really like, I know I'll see it, but a part of me just doesn't even care anymore.
Exactly.
I've seen the trailer so damn much for this James Bond movie that all the wind has been taken out of the sails. And I'm just like, do I even care enough? I've got a nice sized TV in the house. It's been put off so long that I guarantee it comes out next week before Christmas. That thing's going to be on digital on demand. And a part of me is like, maybe I'll just wait. Because honestly, I'm just like, the wind is taken out of my sails on that one.
My wife's a huge James Bond fan, so we had always planned to see it. And I know there was a lot of speculation about what was going on and people were upset about it. But I'm like, we were still going to see it just because it was James Bond and my wife always wanted to. But honestly, I am now to the point, I'm in the same thing. I'm like,
Maybe I'm weird, but I'd rather see old movies in theaters than new movies. Well, Hyper Kaiju, check this out. If you haven't heard, I just informed Dennis of this yesterday. Fathom Events is doing a Rocky 4 extended cut, director's cut, November 11th, in theaters only, 40 minutes of additional footage. And that movie was already, I believe, 2 hours and change. 40 minutes, and a lot of it is training and the fights, I should say. I am so down to see this movie in the theaters November 11th because I saw it in the theaters when it came out.
Me too.
And I'm ready to go see this movie again in the theaters.
I mean, 40 minutes more of pure blown testosterone. Seriously, Drago versus Rocky.
I haven't missed a Bond in theater since Diamonds Are Forever until now. I just don't give a damn about this Bond. Yeah, I mean, now I can definitely say I got on the Bond bandwagon. I'm trying to think what actor it was that got me where I started seeing it in theaters.
I was Roger Moore. That's actually who got
in theaters.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who was the main actor in the 90s?
Well, let's see. You had Timothy Dalton. Pierce Brosnan.
I don't think I saw any Timothy Dalton in the theaters, so I'm going to have to go out on a limb and say the first James Bond movies I saw in theaters were Pierce Brosnan.
Brosnan?
Brosnan. Yeah, Brosnan.
Brosnan.
Brosnan, yeah, Pierce Brosnan. Those were the first ones I saw in theaters.
Lawnmower Man.
What?
Pierce Brosnan.
Was he in Lawnmower Man?
Yeah, the first one.
Was he really? Oh.
Yeah.
So anyhow, those were the first ones I saw in theaters. I have seen a few Sean Connery ones.
Oh, I've seen them all. My dad was a huge, especially.
I haven't seen them all.
I own them all. I've got the
really?
James Bond 50 Years collection.
So I've seen a couple Sean Connery. I really enjoy him. I'm not a big Roger Moore guy. I got to be honest.
Oh, I loved Roger.
He
had the best gadgets.
Okay.
And he went to outer space, Moonraker.
I did enjoy a Timothy Dalton one when I saw it on TV. But I got to say, I did. Did you like Pierce Brosnan?
As an actor, as Bond, yes. The problem was it wasn't Pierce that was the issue with his movies. At that point, the writing was so over the top that he wasn't just a really cool spy, that a 00. He was doing stuff that superheroes can't even do.
Oh, that's true.
The planes jumping out with planes. And
so here we go.
From plane to plane.
He nailed it. GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, World's Not Enough, Die Another Day. Seen every single one of those in the theater. I agree. The stuff's over the top. But I mean, I always looked at James Bond as being really over the top. And the reason I guess this didn't bother me with these movies compared to how over the top they were compared to the Sean Connery and Roger Moore era is just because of technology advancing to where I could buy it.
I get that. And Roger Moore, like I said, he had the best gadgets always. And Q was probably the best during that era. But if you go back to the novels, because the novels were great, he was a lot more. He didn't have all of this stuff. And the things he did were almost superhuman, but not ridiculous. Where the thing that Daniel Craig brought, he kind of grounded James Bond back down to being amazing at what he does, but not to the point where he could do anything and it's a joke.
Daniel Craig, is this his third or fourth one? It's his third, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and it's his final one.
No, I know that.
This is why I've been excited, because this was going to be the conclusion, and they're even portraying it that the conclusion of this Bond series. And I really wanted to see it. We all did, but now I'm like,
we'll see it.
I know we will. Well, Susie's probably going to make me see it when I'm up in Wisconsin here.
Oh, really? Because Courtney actually wants to see it, even though she's never seen any of the other ones.
Well, I'll let you know.
So if you guys go, then her and I will go.
I'll text you.
Speaking of James Bond, I read yesterday, and I think this was just an opinion piece, obviously nothing set in stone, that Tom Hardy could make a good James Bond.
Oh,
because you gotta look at Tom Hardy's bulk of his work. He's played a lot of diverse roles. He does.
I'm thinking Mad Max now.
But he does a lot of different characters as well. I mean, that's the thing. In Venom kind of shows his comedic side when you think about it, because the action is all Venom stuff, not really him. He was in that movie Bronson. I think that was the name of it. It was one of his breakout roles where he played a guy that was in prison. He's played these other roles where he's had to really work accents and stuff. I think Tom Hardy could do it. I wouldn't mind seeing Henry Cavill. The difference, though, is I think Tom Hardy might be better, because I actually look at Tom Hardy, even when he's cleaned up, clean shaven, really cleaned up in a suit. I can still look at Tom Hardy like an everyman type. Henry Cavill, man, to me just looks like this unattainable, like nobody can be that guy.
Right.
Like Daniel Craig, to me, is like Tom Hardy in the sense of Daniel Craig. I look at, even when he's all tuxedoed up and stuff, like, yeah, he's still just this everyman that I can believe. Henry Cavill's just like,
no, yeah, I'm Bond, James Bond. Will he be recognized? I'm telling you, I think Dalton was my favorite. Too bad. Yeah.
Well, no, wait. This is his third movie.
No, Timothy Dalton.
Oh, Timothy Dalton.
You're
Oh,
the wrong
Dalton.
guy. Dalton.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Dalton.
So I am thinking,
what were the legal issues?
Rowan Atkinson? He should be the new James Bond.
Oh, Mr. Bean.
Absolutely,
Mr. Bean. That would be great.
He would be great.
But now, what do you know what he's talking about? What legal issues? Do you have any idea? I have no idea what you're talking about. With
Well,
Dalton
I knew there was
issues.
a reason why. I don't know the whole history, so Saint could probably type it out.
But see, here's the funny thing. When I was growing up in the 80s, I would get Timothy Dalton and Pierce Brosnan confused all the time.
Oh,
because the black hair and stuff, and both similar builds. Both in the 80s, there was only a couple hairstyles for guys.
See, I don't know how Timothy Dalton for me. There's only one movie that I really liked him in.
What?
Flash Gordon.
Oh, well, Timothy. Okay, I have actually never seen Flash Gordon all the way through.
Wait till I tell Sam Jones that next time we see him.
That's true. You're right. Henry Cavill in Last Mission Impossible was very rough and tumble.
Yes.
And that is where I looked at him and was like, he could make a great James Bond. Pierce Brosnan was obviously in, what was his show in the 80s, TV show he was in? Damn it.
Oh,
Moonlighting was Bruce Willis. Pierce Brosnan was in which one?
Remington Steele.
Remington Steele.
Which was fantastic.
Loved Remington Steele. Wasn't Timothy Dalton in a TV show in the 80s as well, or no? He's always just been movies.
Not that I know of. It's nothing I watched.
So he's always been movies, as far as you know.
As far as I know, it's nothing that I watched.
And now Doom Patrol.
Yeah. No.
I like Doom Patrol. I got to start watching it again.
I know, that's just it. I have to watch it.
I got to get back to watching. Damn, I forgot last night because we wrapped up kind of late with everything we were doing. We all went out to dinner and stuff too after the movie. I didn't get to see the new Ted Lasso, which Ted Lasso is a fantastic show. Apple TV, Jason Sudeikis. It's a great show. A lot of heart, really funny. A lot of heart to that show as well, which it's from Bill Lawrence, who did Scrubs. And Scrubs,
I love
Scrubs was a great comedy.
Yep.
But it had a lot of heart to it as
well.
It did. And Ted Lasso's the same way.
See? Might have to add one. We've been watching my wife because we like having coupling.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Supernatural.
Oh, no, she's on a Supernatural kick. She started off last month and started over from scratch. She's already up to season 10. What does that tell you?
All right, let's see. Oh, I've been on a George Romero binge. Oh, that's awesome. Thunderball had a legal dispute in 1961 when former Fleming collaborators McClory and Whittingham sued him shortly after the novel, claiming he based it upon the screenplay the trio had written. And Thunderball was the Dalton movie, but that continued all the way up that it kind of screwed Dalton, I guess, somehow. Well, it is, in getting to Romero, it is October. October is one of my favorite months. It's getting cooler. Oh, you're giving us more info. I love you guys for letting us know this stuff. McClory and Whittingham claimed to create a whole bunch of the things we now associate with. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. I love this time of year. It's getting cooler out. I'll be wearing jeans to the show tomorrow. Got to.
See? Tank top, shorts, year-round.
It's not a tank top, but whatever.
What?
It's a sleeveless shirt. Do you know what a tank top is?
Are you saying that is exclusively the one with a little strap?
Yeah. That's not a tank top. That's a sleeveless shirt. It's a sleeveless shirt. Guys, is that a tank top or is it a sleeveless shirt? Come on. It is not a tank top.
When I Google it in order to order it, I Google tank top and this comes up.
Hold on.
Oh God. No, we're gonna put it out there.
Let's see. Tank top for men. Images.
This is the stuff we're going to talk about all the way down there.
Look, tank top for men, images. I know it's hard to see, but it came up what I said a tank top is. Hyper Kaiju says I'd have to ask my wife. Ha ha ha. Chad calls what Dennis is wearing a muscle shirt. And Dennis should be wearing tank tops, as I like to call them, wife beaters, because Dennis has a little side action. Smacking around the house is all I'm saying.
You mean she beats me with a rolling pin?
She does. She does.
It's a good thing I don't bruise easy.
I know. So anyhow, enough of that. I mean, we know I'm right. I have a tank top up in my room that I could wear. That's just a sleeveless shirt. His quick dry shirts that he has to wear.
Love the quick dry.
He does, because he falls into whenever we walk by a lake, he just falls in. It's amazing.
Dude, I sweat. I am constantly warmer. I'll walk into a room, my God, it's hot. And he's like, ooh, it's chilly. I need my weighted blankie. And I'm like, God, no, man, it's too hot in here. He's always cold. I'm always hot. It's like a woman.
Exactly. So, that's it. We're just kind of waiting on Bud Root.
And but yeah, so our road trip. So anyway, I hope you guys can make it. We're going to try and do a few live streams while we're down there. For the day, maybe do a little bit of the setup action and see all the vendors that show up, and hopefully we can do a few of the live streams when we're down at the convention.
Harper Guys, you says Dennis is talking my language. LOL. I work from home and dress like a gym teacher year round. I mean, I work from home and pretty much I'm either wearing shorts or in the winter sweats and a t-shirt
and a parka.
Oh, please. Every now and then I like my weighted blanket. So, nothing wrong with a little weighted blanket. But anyhow, guys, we're going to take off. Thank you for joining us for the reviews. We hope you found them enlightening. And, let us know what you guys think of Venom and the What If. And we will see you guys on Tuesday because Dennis is hitting the road on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be gone for a couple of weeks. So we're going to do an early Tuesday show instead of Wednesday. So I'll kind of know what new comics I should be getting.
That's right.
It'll be a little early.
Exactly. So until next time, guys, thank you for joining us as always. And we will leave you with this. Bye.